Thank you. Mr. Etheridge, the floor is yours.
Thank you. I'm interested in this debate because prior to the honour of being elected to this place, I was involved in small, medium-sized enterprises and in fact actually had the interesting experience of running one myself for some time. During that time, the things that mattered to me were lower and simpler taxation, less regulation and paperwork, better educated and access to more skilled workers, and less barriers to actual international trade, be buying, selling, with the world rather than just with the EU, even though there were difficulties actually at the time with the EU, which was interesting. What didn't interest me and my colleagues were social innovation, sustainability and the environment, because we were there to try and make money and at the same time to try and employ people by making money. We also found that if you get the right conditions within a country, you will have a good business and a good business idea which will attract investment. You do not always need the government to invest to make something happen. So it's a very interesting report and it's going to be a very interesting debate I look forward to listening to, but please, from the point of view of someone who's actually been involved in an SME, if we are having these reports, let's try to focus on less paperwork, less regulation, and get the state off the back of the people who make the money, that make the taxes that you then go on to spend. Thank you.
Thank you very much. The next speaker, Mr. Etheridge.
Thank you. This report and what we're talking about here is an example, very much in the view of my part and myself, of what the EU does that it shouldn't. I can't see what the UK stands to gain from this at all. This is yet more planning heading towards the birth of a superstate from 2020 onwards. We could very well keep our £55 million a day and use some of that money on our own research, if that's what we choose to do. Alternatively, we could use it to just encourage private companies to do it in the UK. You talk about encouraging smart specialisation in areas. That would happen under a free market without you trying to interfere. As somebody from the black country of the West Midlands, an area that gave us all the Industrial Revolution, I know that this happens. This happens without anyone forcing it to happen. I represent the West Midlands in the UK, and my interest is in what's good for that area and not for the rest of the Europe. Although I wish Europe well, I don't understand why we need to fund this. The UK can do this on our own. This has no benefit for us whatsoever. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Mr. Etheridge, the floor is yours.
Thank you. Wow, that's quite a job you've got there. Guidelines, regulations and rules so complex that even the EU authorities find it a problem. You made a mention of an 800-page rule book. I believe this is because you're trying to run things across so many countries and jurisdictions. You talk of simplification, but that can only be achieved through closer cohesion. And that cohesion can only be achieved through a sacrifice of national sovereignty, surely. And this is the tragedy of the EU. You can't achieve all these things without the United States of Europe, and that's exactly what the people don't want. So my question is very simple, and I wish you good luck on reducing your 800-page rule book. And my question is really very simple. How many pages do you think you'll get it down to? I reckon if you can get it below 750, you'll do well. But I'm interested to know what your estimate is. Thanks.
It is a big question that we definitely don't want to finish our work with more guidance and how to simplify, more guidance how to simplify it, and then it will be again a big paper. This is, of course, I cannot say more than simply the political responsibility of this group is that we simply must show how something is changed. Very interesting, very good question about the pages, how many pages can be cut. Of course, I am not ready to say today, but I definitely want when we have some results and clearly show a substantial cut of some regulations today or tomorrow.